I don't know what's more shocking, the fact there is a character that did die, or the fact that Overhaul killed a named character over All for One. Huh. The future can be changed, and so does a man. The man who can foresee of a person was drawn to believe that it is inevitable. That is until one boy, who has the power of a shonen protagonist, to change the direction of the future. Despite that one part remains largely the same, there is still hope for what's to come for everyone. Even without him, the chapter continues the aftermath of a long arc with the last bidding words. While my opinion remains the same on the last arc, the aftermath is at least doing something justifiable to the action they all went through. There is a report on what happened to the city, and unlike Batman vs Superman logic, there were some people in the city that got hurt. It's not much, but it will do. Nejiri is there to report that Deku was the one that stopped the terrorizing foe from total destruction. It's taunting at this point when heroines are used as messengers and not a sign of anything relevancy, so I'll just move on. The point is Deku is going to receive credits, so it could be intriguing to see how it will address to everyone. The chapter largely focuses on the status report from the hero side. Deku got some harm, but nothing too serious, while Aizawa got back up from receiving stitches. It's basically the aftermath report to see who will live and how badly their injuries are. Krishna will be fine, though now looking like a mummy, so that's cool. While others are going to be fine as well. Rocklock got lucky enough to be spared to see his family again. I guess Toka can't aim for Vital Spot that well yet. One of the more important updates is with Eri. It's basically said that her quirk is far too difficult to control, as shown earlier with Deku. Also, she is under fever after that long period use of quirk, so in other words, we won't be seeing her for a while. That's one way to shift focus with a status quo feel. That said, Aizawa claims that they can't rely on her quirk, at least not in that condition. It's reasonable enough, though I bet people still wish she has limitation besides the fact that it could only work on humans, which is still a lot, or she continues to be a walking plot hole. Seriously, they want her dead. I don't get it. It occurs to me that the reason why they have to emphasize the whole Eri use is because the mangaka wants to make sure that the follow-up can be allowed to happen. Case in point, Night Eye is on his deathbed. Surrounded with created characters from the fans, it's no wonder that the series decides to axe his character. It does leave on a sad, yet hopeful note for the characters. I cited that Deku telling Night Eye that he had to meet with All Might is a way to say to stay alive and go forward to the future. Sadly, it leans towards Night Eye's farewell to All Might instead. At the very least, he got to meet him and practically bury the hatches. He comes clean and address on why he was so pushy. It's no secret that he cared for All Might like a family, let alone the biggest fan. He tries so hard to find a way to bend the future, yet it always leans to reality. Nothing seems to work and is pretty much inevitable. That is until Deku shows up. This could be a conflicting feeling towards the message. On one hand, it's a simple message of believing themselves to change the course of the future at their will. On the other hand, the fact you have someone that can foresee it and somehow change by believing hard is far-fetched. I am aware that this is shonen, and it's perfectly fine. But the way how this chapter sugarcoated the negative makes it sound like everything is purely solid and believable. And that's something that was amiss. It should have addressed both ups and downs in order to bring a true meaningful message of life itself. It's practically never given up message in a basic level. Is it asking a lot? Probably. But this was handled better back in the earlier days of the series. It's probably because the past is more focused and contained within smaller subjects to tackle. Despite the hit and miss, the next part is where the chapter shines. Mirio entering the ER last is the right call because he was his student and they share a strong connection. Mirio got to say what he truly felt about his teaching and as a person. It's sad that Mirio has to lose his mentor after losing his quirk. I would have liked a spin-off series with him and Night Eye, seeing how the small moment in the previous arc shows significant friendship. The visual does a great job to convey the emotion of these characters. Muriel really shines with his basic expression, leaving strong impression. Same can be said for All Might. It's touching that Muriel really loved Night Eye. Night Eye gives him his last blessing that he will be an outstanding hero. It's the mentor's final advice when he tells him to keep smiling. And he has no regrets after their final talk. He can finally rest and let the heroes continue on with a bright future ahead. Now that the mangaka elaborated enough to say that he is dead with no Eri to help, I can say that I thought his character was a decent one. It's a shame that he went out like that easy. We didn't have enough time to get to know him compared to Muriel. No, that doesn't mean I want Muriel to die instead, but the effect would have been stronger. That said, his deathbed is affected to me because of those who are witnessing it rather the one going through it. Either way, it's a farewell to Night Eye. Overall, it's a pretty good chapter. While it is sad for a character to die, it left on a hopeful note for the future to be on a positive light. I guess you could say that he has to die to avoid of any more plot point exposition. It would have been nice for him to continue on, but he served his purpose. The future is only determined by effort with a smile. For those who wants a character to die in this series, you got your wish. I hope you're happy. Though I do wonder if that would mean that All Might will be spared from death. Well, time will tell on that one. What are your thoughts of this chapter? What is going to happen with Muriel now? It's possible that Muriel could take over what Night Eye has established before, so maybe that will be the case. I'm curious that the report from Nejiri about Deku is really going to hit in the news and everybody would know that Deku was the one behind saving the city. That should be an interesting start for the next arc, especially when we go back to school. We'll see what is going to focus next. And that will do it for the review. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you like this and want more of this, subscribe to my channel and my world will be yours to stay. Until next time, take care.